Have you ever tried to, learn something new, but the instructions were like in a totally different language?
Yeah, I can imagine that would be pretty frustrating.
Well, that's kind of the situation playing out in the manufacturing world right now.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about a massive skills gap, Factories packed with all this cutting edge technology, but not enough skilled workers who actually know how to, run it all.
It is a real puzzle, isn't it? I mean, on the one hand, we've got this huge wave of innovation happening, automation, AI, the whole nine yards.
Right.
But then on the other hand, you've got a whole generation of experienced workers getting ready to retire.
And they're taking decades of hands-on knowledge with them.
Precisely. And it's not like you can just, stick someone new in their place and expect them to pick it all up overnight. The skills needed today are, well, they're different.
You can't just hand them a wrench and be like, all right, go program that robot arm.
Exactly. It's just not how it works.
So true.
Think about it. Back in 2019, almost half of all manufacturing workers were over 44 years old.
Wow, that's a lot of experience walking out the door.
It is. And the traditional ways of training new workers, those just aren't cutting it, are they?
Yeah.
The younger generation, they're not exactly lining up for those day-long seminars and those massive instruction manuals.
I think they'd rather watch a 5-minute YouTube video.
Exactly. You're spot on. And that's actually where this whole conversation takes a really interesting turn.
Yeah.
Because what if, just hear me out, what if the answer to this skills gap wasn't just about finding new talent, but about totally transforming the way we learn?
Transforming how we learn. All right, you've definitely got my attention. What are we talking about here? Some kind of matrix situation, downloading skills directly into our brains.
And maybe not that fast, but not quite the Matrix. But imagine if we could capture those years of experience, from those veteran workers, and then use AI to turn them into training programs.
So instead of those dry old manuals, we're talking about something that's more engaging.
Yeah, exactly. Think like a video game tutorial almost.
Well, hold on. Are you saying AI could actually learn from those experts and then turn around and teach the rest of us?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
That sounds a lot like what Sam Zeng's company is doing.
It is. Yeah, DeepHow, they've developed this AI. It's called Stephanie. And
Okay, hold on. Stephanie.
yeah, Stephanie.
So Stephanie's like what? Some kind of superpowered apprentice, just soaking up all that knowledge, by just watching someone?
Basically. She observes these master craftspeople, right? These experts in their field. And she's analyzing their every move, every single step they take.
Wow. And then what? What happens next?
Okay, so here's the really cool part. Stephanie takes all that data, right? All those observations, and she turns it into step-by-step training videos. And she does it automatically.
No way.
Yeah. We're talking about a 90% reduction in production time compared to the old ways of doing it.
Okay, that's huge. But, how good can it really be? Can AI-generated training really compare to, actually learning from a real person?
That's a great question. And here's the thing. Because these videos, they're built directly from those expert demonstrations.
Right?
They capture those little nuances.
Nuances.
Yeah, those subtle things. It's not just the what they're doing, it's the how. The little decisions those experienced workers make without even really thinking about it.
So it's almost like having the cheat codes, all the secrets to mastery distilled down into these easy to follow videos.
Exactly. And the best part is, because it's all digital, it can be accessed anywhere, anytime. You need to train someone new on the other side of the world. No problem. Just send them a link.
That's amazing. We're talking about democratizing expertise here, making those really specialized skills accessible to, anyone with an internet connection.
Exactly. And think about the impact, not just on, manufacturing, but on individuals. Someone who, I don't know, maybe they never even thought they could have a career in this kind of field. Now they can learn from the best, at their own pace. It's incredible.
We're not just solving the skills gap, we're uncovering all this hidden potential. But we've got to be real here for a second. This all sounds pretty, utopian. Are there any downsides we're not considering?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Whenever we're talking about AI, especially in the workplace, you've always got to look at both sides of the coin. I mean, one of the biggest concerns have to be,
before we got sidetracked, we were talking about the
downsides.
Yeah, the potential downsides of all this.
Right. I mean, it's important to remember that technology, even with the best of intentions, it can sometimes,
backfire.
Yeah, or at least have these unintended consequences.
Right.
And in this case, one of the things that we really have to think about is what this could mean for jobs, right? I mean, if we're making it easier and faster to train workers, does that mean, down the line, companies are going to need fewer workers overall?
That's a good point. But I mean, couldn't you also argue that by making training more accessible, we're actually creating more opportunities? Especially for people who, in the past, maybe they didn't have the time or the resources for traditional training. Now they have a chance.
Absolutely. And that's what I mean. We really need to be, we really need to think about these things carefully. It's not as simple as, technology equals job losses.
It's more complicated.
Right. It's about adapting and, finding those ways to work with these advancements, not being afraid of them.
I like that. So, okay, let's say AI can learn to do these incredibly complex tasks. What does that even mean for human expertise, in the future? Will we even need those master craftspeople if a machine can just teach anyone to do their job?
Oh, man. That's the question, isn't it? That's the one that keeps me up at night. Yeah, I mean, I think part of it is finding that, that balance. Right?
Yeah.
AI might be able to copy tasks, even those super intricate ones, but there's still something about, I don't know, that human touch. It's hard to replicate, right? It's the creativity, the problem solving, the ability to think on your feet when something unexpected happens.
Yeah. It's like they say, you can teach a machine to carve a statue, but can you teach it to see the beauty in the marble?
Exactly. It's about recognizing that humans and AI, they each have their own, strengths.
Yeah.
And it's about finding ways to bring those together, to leverage them.
Well said. Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive. I mean, we started with this trillion-dollar problem, and now we're talking about a potential revolution in how we learn and how we work. It seems like AI might not be the job-stealing monster we sometimes hear about.
Right.
It could actually be this powerful tool for empowering workers and helping people reach their full potential.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah,
it is an exciting time to be watching this all unfold.
It really is. And to all of you listening, if AI can learn to, I don't know, build a car, what other seemingly impossible skills do you think it could learn next? And what could that mean for your job, your industry, your future? Just something to think about. Till next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.